Right now at 5, authorities arrest a pair of brothers in connection to a body found along I-44.
And after some strong, even severe storms yesterday, we could see a few more isolated storms today. We're going to be staying very hot. A look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a new soybean processing plant in southeast Kansas could soon grow the local economy.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now finally Friday here in the 4 states. Should be a lot of fun.
Always welcome.
It's Friday. Friday's always, like you said, always welcome. So Friday's always a fantastic day. So I don't know how many of you folks out there have heard, but we're going to be getting a second moon. There's an asteroid supposedly it's going to enter orbit at some point, and you can't see it with the naked eye is what I've seen. You'll need a telescope, but it'll be briefly in orbit around the Earth here before too much longer. Should be interesting.
Fascinating, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's a shame you can't see it, but at the same time, maybe it's probably a good thing. If we could, it might be a different kind of problem out there, but still should be neat. And we are looking pretty neat this morning. We've got partly to mostly cloudy skies. Some of us got some much needed rain last night. Unfortunately, it came with that severe weather threat as well. Looking good from our camera downtown Pittsburgh, heading over to 7th and Rangeline. Also not too bad this morning. We'll head a little further south to the MoDOT. There we go. I said we will head a little further south to the MoDOT camera at 32nd and Rangeline. Also looking fairly good this morning. A couple of cars, folks getting their day underway. So we do have a chance for some isolated thunderstorms today. Best window initially here is from noon to 5, and when we put the future track into motion, you can see a few of these out there. Not many. Most of us will be dry, but nonetheless, there's at least a slight chance for a storm or two. And some of those, and especially into the late evening, could be a little bit on the strong side in our far western counties out here with a low wind risk across that area out there. So not anticipating anything too significant, nothing like last night, at least not with this activity, but we still have more storm chances down the road we'll talk about. 76 in Joplin, 70 in Pittsburgh right now. And take a look. These are orange colors that we're supposed to see in the afternoon, not in the morning. We've got upper 60s for at least a couple of us out there. The rest of us low, mid, and upper 70s, close to 80 in parts of northeastern Oklahoma this morning. Bear in mind, we're supposed to be in the upper 50s. We're almost 20 degrees above normal out there. 74 when the kids get on the bus, partly cloudy skies, south breeze 5 to 10. Wind shift out of the west, gusting upwards of 20, about 95 when the bus brings them home. And again, an isolated shower or storm will be possible. It won't be raining everywhere, but we'll have that window again between noon and 5, about a 20% chance of those. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies and another day. Heat index values potentially pushing 100, maybe even that 100 to 105 zone out there. We'll have another look at your forecast. We'll talk about our weekend rain chances, some cooler weather, and just everything else you need to know here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, authorities now say a body found along I-44 earlier this week is a murder case. Investigators arrested 2 men in connection with the crime. Now, the body was discovered in a ditch along the interstate in Jasper County late Monday afternoon. The victim, 63-year-old Jesse Gilmore from Oklahoma. At the time, authorities were searching for a red Chevy Cobalt they now say belonged to Gilmore. Investigators say they believed Gilmore was killed at the Road Ranger gas station on South Prigmore in Joplin. Now, deputies say Gilmore was sitting in his car when one suspect approached and shot him in the head. Now, they also say the shooter then took Gilmore's car and dumped his body. The body was found along I-44 less than 2 miles from the gas station. Jasper County authorities say after dumping the body, the suspects drove Gilmore's car and another vehicle to Independence, Missouri. Monday night, the suspect driving the other vehicle was arrested for DWI. On Tuesday, law enforcement in Independence responded to an attempted carjacking. In that incident, authorities say the second suspect shot a woman in the chest. At last report, she was in critical condition. Authorities say the shooter took off but was later caught by Kansas City police responding to another case about a woman who was pistol whipped. The suspects are brothers and illegal immigrants from Honduras. Investigators submitted charges of first-degree murder, armed criminal action, and robbery against one brother to the Jasper County prosecutor. According to the sheriff's office, charges against the other brother are also expected to be filed in the case. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, a new industry is coming to Cherryville, Kansas, as a grand opening takes place for the Bartlett soybean processing plant. Now, the plant has already created more than 60 new jobs for the facility alone. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly joined other state officials in acknowledging the new industry in the area. The soybean plant is expected to process up to 49 million bushels of soybeans annually, creating products for foods, animal feeds, and renewable energy. Local and state officials say they believe the plant will positively impact the economy, not only on Cherryville and Montgomery County, but the entire state.
Whether our farmers, with their guaranteed income that they'll have for every bushel of soybeans they create, with renewable energy and the upcoming projects that we're seeing happen because of this investment, and then seeing our school districts investing in new technology and workforce, it will trickle out into our entire region and really affect the economy of all of Southeast Kansas.
The plant officially started processing soybeans, which they began accepting in February. The party will be over for one Joplin brick and mortar business. Party City announces it's filed for bankruptcy. Just yesterday morning, signage appeared in the windows advertising 25% off everything. Party City in Joplin employs 4 full-time employees and about 20 total personnel total. Sources say their final day will be December 4th. The Joplin Fire Department receives a grant from Missouri American to make improvements and upgrade equipment. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more on how they plan to use the funds.
We always have something we can help.
As a fire department with a limited budget, grants can help a fire station afford updated equipment.
This allows us to expedite obtaining equipment and necessary needs to make our community safer and our job safer.
The grant is from Missouri American for $1,200, and the fire station plans to put the funding towards equipment that would make their job more efficient.
They see the need and they know budget constraints that many of us have, and it's an opportunity to grab a little bit of funds to help fund pub ed stuff and equipment that's needed for the fire department.
One of the things they plan to buy is a 3D camera. This will help them see what a building looks like before it catches fire.
Pre-fire plans, so they can go out ahead of time before the fire at big industrial complexes, set the camera up, single point in like a parking lot, and it'll shoot a 360-degree picture of that area showing fire protection, fire hydrants, hydrant connections, sprinkler connections, access doors.
These 3D cameras will also be used for scene investigations. Reporting in Joplin, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Now, Brooks says grants like these play a big role in helping the fire department make upgrades. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Chautauqua High School football plays its homecoming game against Cunningham. We'll have the details. Plus, Oktoberfest in Munich, Germany is tightening their security in wake of a deadly knife attack. And we're tracking weekend thunderstorms. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, Pittsburgh State football isn't used to losing, especially at home. The Gorillas lost to Emporia State this past Saturday. It's their first defeat in the jungle since November of 2021. But now, PSU looks ahead and tries to bounce back this week on the road at Washburn.
Obviously, offensively, we can't can't turn the ball over, defensively. I think when we graded it on Sunday, we had 24 missed tackles, so we got to tackle and play much better in space, which is Emporia stresses you. They make you to defend sideline to sideline, so we just did not play well in space. And then on our side of the ball, on defense, the penalties, I think we had 6 penalties as a team, and all of them were on the defensive side. And then obviously special teams, man, we have to make kicks. We can't leave points out on the field, and got to do a much better job of fielding punts as well. That was a huge part of the game, was how they were able to flip the field when our punt return team was out there.
High school football week 3 in Kansas started last night. The KOAM sports team was at multiple games yesterday evening, which included Chautauqua. The Hornets are 1-1 in year 2 under head coach Tommy Heatherly. It was homecoming last night in Chautauqua. The Hornets take the field and welcome in the Cunningham Wildcats. So we're going to start on the opening drive of the game. Will Wegerer takes the snap and floats it over the middle to Dylan Halderson, who makes a one-handed catch and scores the touchdown. Cunningham leads 8-0. Wildcats have the momentum. Next Cunningham drive, Wegerer has all sorts of time to find a receiver. He goes back to Dylan Halderson again, and he reaches across the goal line. Wildcats put another touchdown on the board, leading 16-0, but the Hornets look to respond. Lawrence Holt takes the snap, goes to Marshall Minor, who gains a first down. Next play, Chautauqua fumbles the ball, and Cunningham recovers. Hornets were slow on offense all night until this play. It's 4th and long. Lawrence Holt tries to avoid being sacked, but he pitches the ball at the last second, and David Cox picks it up. He breaks free tackles, and he's on his way to the house. Chautauqua finally gets on the board after David Cox runs this in for the touchdown. One of the few bright spots on the night for Chautauqua. However, Cunningham goes on to dominate this game. Wildcats win 52-6. Over at Pryor Field in Fredonia, in that contest, Fredonia wins 21-0 over Bluestem. The Yellow Jackets return a pick 6 on the last play, but it gets called back. They're 2-1 on the year. We've also got football in Missouri last night. Diamond at home taking on Miller. The Lightning got in the way of this one. Halftime took about an hour with the weather delay. Miller goes on to win this one with a final score of 12-8. Pittsburgh State women's soccer in action yesterday evening. The Gorillas down in OKC taking on Oklahoma City University. PSU wins 3-1. River Riley, Dana Hobson, and Adriana Delgado all score goals in a winning effort. Gorillas are back in action on Saturday at Southwestern Oklahoma. Still to come, new research shows the potential heart benefits of some weight loss drugs for a wider group of people. Plus, it's going to be hot and muggy today. We've got more rain chances building into the weekend. To look at all that when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:17 on this Friday morning. I ran through 3 days in my head, just so you know, because it has been a long week, but it's been a good week. We do have a risk for some strong storms in our far western counties later this evening, where we could see some damaging wind gusts out there. Most of us, though, expected to not see severe weather tonight, but that will change as we head into Sunday. So for today, Future Track, let's talk about these very isolated showers. So we're talking about a 20% chance, but through the day, best window initially is between noon and 5 for a few of these pop-up showers and thunderstorms with the heating of the day. Not much else expected, excuse me, until we get into tonight. And we'll see showers and thunderstorms start building in. And initially, again, some of these for our western counties could be a bit on the strong side. Now, these will be scattered showers and storms as we start our day Saturday. Not everybody will be seeing rain all at the same time, but scattered showers and storms will also persist throughout the day on our Saturday. And they will be scattered. You may get a storm in the morning and not see another one for another 6 hours, but we at least have some rain chances throughout the day Saturday. By Saturday night, though, more organized thunderstorms will begin to roll into the area. And as we head into Sunday, some of these could be strong, possibly low-grade severe. So here we are at 5 a.m. Sunday. Got those scattered thunderstorms out there, and they will continue. We get a little bit of a break by midday Sunday, and then we'll see another round by the evening of showers and storms across the area. And again, some of these could be strong, the low-grade severe, and these opportunities will continue through the night and into early Monday morning, where we could see a few more showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two. So what does that look like down the road? Okay, there's that low risk today. We have the scattered storms across the region tomorrow, and then we have that low risk across most of the region, essentially I-44 and everybody north of that. And again, some of the good news at least is the primary concerns are for hail and damaging wind gusts, similar to what we saw last night. We also have heat advisories in place for Newata, Craig, and Washington counties in northeastern Oklahoma through 8 tonight. Heat index values down there could exceed 105, so that is the heat advisory criteria. The rest of us, though, heat index values 100 to 105, and it's already toasty for many of us, especially the further southwest you go. We've got upper 70s, pretty darn close to 80 in some locations. The rest of us, for the most part, low to mid 70s across the region. As we go through the day, we're going to start out in the mid 70s. We'll have partly to mostly cloudy skies, a bit on the hot side by the time we reach 11 a.m., getting close to 90 degrees out there. As we head down the road through today, highs upper 90s, so again, heat index values could be 100 to 105, and in the heat advisory areas, 105 to 110 degrees. And we'll have that window for a few isolated showers and thunderstorms between noon and 5. Then again, we get that pause later this evening. And then after midnight, the next round of scattered storms will start to build in. Another night of 15 degrees or so above normal as we go back into the mid 70s. Keep in mind, our averages for this time of year, talking highs upper 70s, low 80s, lows into the upper 50s. And we are seeing overnight lows close to what our average highs should be. But the good news is that cold front's still on the way. That's why we're going to have those better storm chances through the weekend. So scattered storms tomorrow. Mid 90s again, low 90s Sunday. Between the clouds and the rain chances, it does kick us down a little bit. Cold front does eventually knock our temperatures down. Mid 70s on Monday. Cloudy skies could again have a few lingering showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms in the first half of our Monday, and then that'll clear out. We do warm up, and even in some cases get a little above normal, like next Friday, for example. And we've got some pop-up storm chances next Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, with temperatures remaining, for the most part, relatively seasonable out there. So just a few more really uncomfortable days, and then once fall gets here, it's going to start to feel a little more like fall. That's checking your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Well, topping Health Watch this morning. The Biden administration is offering insurers hefty new subsidies to avoid a hike in Medicare drug plan premiums. Participating insurers will get an extra $15 per member per month if their limit increases to $35 per month from the prior year. The increase in premiums wasn't expected. That's because the Inflation Reduction Act will cap an individual's out-of-pocket prescription costs at $2,000 for 2025. Insurance companies were expected to raise premiums to help cover some of their added expenses. Now, Medicare beneficiaries will start selecting plans next month. Well, some weight loss drugs could improve your waistline and your heart at the same time. Fresh research now finds those drugs could help prevent 34,000 heart attacks and strokes in the U.S. each year. Wegovy medication is part of a class of drugs called GLP-1 receptor agonists. Earlier this year, the Food and Drug Administration made Wegovy, made by Novo Nordisk, the first weight loss drug cleared to lessen the risk of heart-related problems, including strokes. Now, the data responsible for that change was based on obese people with certain heart health issues. But now there's new research from Dandelion Health that finds GLP-1 drugs could also be used for primary prevention. That means up to 44 million more people could potentially benefit from those drugs. Now, Dandelion Health used artificial intelligence and real-life medical records for their findings. Whether it's a talk about drugs, sex, or mental health, having difficult conversations with preteens and teens isn't easy. But experts say connecting with youth can help guide them towards making responsible decisions and reduce certain health risks. Andy Gaither has some ideas on how to get teens to open up about tough topics.
We're all busy and have to contend with modern day technologies, but staying connected with children is one of the best things a parent can do.
I have 3 teenage girls, and it is the best part of my life. But I also know how hard it can be sometimes to get kids to talk about their feelings.
A recent CDC survey found nearly 77% of parents believe their teens always have the social and emotional support they need, but only 28% of teens agreed with that.
Close emotional relationships between parents and teens are associated with all kinds of long-term benefits. Improved mental and general health, less dangerous behavior like substance abuse.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta says there are prompts to help get preteens and teens to open up.
Maybe ask teens for their internal weather report or what weather pattern best reflects how they feel at the time. You can also ask them what song or movie describes their mood. Maybe ask about the high and low points of their day.
When connecting with teens, the CDC says to also engage in active listening. Find out more about what they like and why, and be the person they trust and want to come to when they need an adult.
The goal here is to build a safe and supportive space where people can be vulnerable. So do respect any boundaries and be patient.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The CDC says if you have concerns about your child's emotional well-being, their behavior, or overall mental health, be sure to reach out to a healthcare provider. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves a partly to mostly cloudy start to the day. It's a bit on the warm side and another hot one out there, maybe a shower or two. A look at that forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, Freeman Health System hosted its annual gala to honor nurses for their hard work.
And we've got some partly to mostly cloudy skies out there after yesterday's storms. It's going to be another hot one, maybe a shower or storm. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the Cherokee County Health Department teams up with the EPA to provide soil screening for lead content.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's finally Friday, September the 20th here in the 4 states.
Yes.
Welcome to Friday. We got some rain yesterday.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it did come with an attendant risk for severe weather. We did have some severe storms. Got quite a bit of a light show before our. I don't know how late you stay up. You're younger. When I was your age, I could work 20-hour days and it didn't bother me.
I can't do that now.
I can't do that these days. But still, it was certainly an impressive light show. A lot of lightning out there, and we've got more storm chances over the next few days, including today. But today, those chances considerably lower. Let's start with this. This is our camera downtown Pittsburgh. We're looking pretty good. Again, partly to mostly cloudy skies out there, but we are dry. Our camera 7th and range line also looking fairly good this morning as well. And we'll head down south to the MoDOT camera at 32nd and range line. I got some folks starting their day out there, and otherwise it's not bad. It is well above where we should be for this time of year, but at least the weather conditions aren't bad. Now between noon and 5, we're going to have an opportunity for an isolated shower or storm. Most of us during the day will be dry today, but there will be that window for a couple of stray showers or thunderstorms out there, and then we'll have a few more as we go overnight tonight into our Saturday. And some of the ones later this evening and overnight could be a bit on the strong side. We do have a low wind risk for our very far western counties out there, so maybe some damaging wind gusts. But as you can see at this point, the severe threat is relatively confined, or at least the strong storm threat is relatively confined. We should be in the upper 50s, and I keep saying that just as a reminder as to how warm it already is. 76 in Joplin, 71 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures across the region, further southwest you go, the warmer it is, upper 70s. Then we get the low 70s and even a couple of upper 60s out there, but still all of us above normal for this morning. But these days, these above normal days are going to start to wane back a little bit. All right, 74 when the kids get on the bus, partly cloudy skies. We'll have that south breeze around 5 to 10. Switching out of the west, gusting upwards of 20 to 25 later today. 95 when that bus brings them home. And again, for some of us, maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Again, that window between 12 and 5, most of us dry, so we're looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies, temperatures into the mid to upper 90s. Heat index values 100 degrees to 105 in most cases. So very uncomfortable and very un-September-like weather. Cold front still coming this weekend. More rain chances out there and some cooler weather. We'll go over those details here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we definitely need that cooler weather. Thanks, Chris. The Cherokee County, Kansas Health Department partnered with the EPA to help people screen for lead in their soil. Now, the screening took place at the Columbus Business and Health Fair. The screening was free of charge and allows people to understand what contaminants are in their soil and what they can do to reduce the health risks these contaminants create.
But then if we also see that maybe there's some levels of concern, or if you live in Cherokee County in certain Superfund areas, then we're going to suggest that our friends over here at EPA might be able to come out and formally test at your residence.
Experts say lead is their biggest concern due to its impact on the development of young children. Well, A&M College starts the 2024 school year with an increase in enrollment. Now, the rise includes first-time freshmen, which has increased 9% since 2018. 22% of continuing students have also returned from the previous academic year. While the school's nursing program remains a big draw, administrators say they're looking at other factors to determine where the most significant increases are.
Just the environment we have. We're building things, creating resources for our students to help them be successful. I think that has a lot to do with why our returning students are in a higher number this fall. Just providing more support to them, making it a place that they want to be.
Ishmael also highlighted some things the school offers students, like online and in-person mental health services. She also mentioned high participation in intramural sports. Well, Freeman Health System hosted its annual nursing gala yesterday. The event celebrates, honors, and acknowledges the work of Freeman nurses. The event also gives Freeman nurses a night to kick back and have some fun. The gala also serves as a fundraiser for the Freeman Nursing Education Fund.
Freeman just really loves to celebrate their nurses, and that it's a great place to work, and there's so many things that Freeman offers to nurses outside of the workplace.
Well, since 2016, Freeman has been able to award more than $200,000 in scholarships to Freeman nurses. The Shoal Creek Conservation Area will host its Monarch Festival Saturday. The event honors the migration of the butterfly as well as the creature's impact on the environment as a pollinator. The festival will include activities for all ages.
People are just really drawn to monarch butterflies because they're big, they're stunning, and they have such an interesting life cycle. They travel so far, and that is just so impressive for this little butterfly to be able to do.
The Monarch Festival will coincide with the annual native plant sale. Kindergartners at Mark Twain Elementary in Carthage had a special visitor yesterday, Johnny Appleseed. Now, he shared stories with the kids and talked about how he traveled the country planting apple seeds. Now, Johnny says the more animated the story, the better their reaction.
Any story that I can come up with that has a lot of animation to it and sounds and actions and stuff, that's what gets the crazy reactions out of the kids. So if that's what brings it out of the kids, that's what I'm here for. So I like stories with animals, stories that have ups and downs and things that keep them on the edge of their seat. Anything like that, I'm all for.
Now, Johnny Appleseed Day is actually next Thursday, September 26th. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A stolen Churchill portrait was handed over to Canadian authorities to return to its rightful owner. Plus, a potential port strike is threatening to upend the busy holiday season. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, security tightening in Munich, Germany ahead of the country's annual Oktoberfest. Now, it's the world's largest folk festival, but this time it will have metal detectors for the first in its 189-year history. The security enforcement following a deadly knife attack in August that left 3 dead in Solingen. Authorities say there are currently no reports of threats to the beer festival. Now, 600 police officers and 2,000 security personnel will be overlooking what officials are expecting to be the safest place in Germany. 6 million people are predicted to attend Oktoberfest that begins Saturday and lasts for 16 days. Well, a world-famous portrait of Winston Churchill that was reported stolen from an Ottawa hotel has been returned. The photograph shows Churchill's wartime visit to the Canadian Parliament in December 1941. Now, the artwork is known as the Roaring Lion. Ottawa police say it was stolen from the hotel sometime between Christmas Day 2021 and January 6, 2022, and replaced with a forgery. Now, Nicola Casanelli, a lawyer in Genoa, Italy, purchased the portrait in May of 2022 at an online Sotheby's auction for the equivalent of $7,000. Now, he says he got a phone call from the auction house advising him not to sell or otherwise transfer the portrait due to an investigation into the theft. In April, police arrested a 43-year-old man from Ontario and charged him with stealing and trafficking the portrait. A looming strike at America's ports is threatening to upend the busy holiday season. The largest union in North America, representing more than 85,000 longshoremen, are threatening a strike that would shut down 5 of the 10 busiest ports in North America. Lydia Hu is at the port of Newark in New Jersey with the latest.
Analysts are warning ships currently heading toward the East Coast or Gulf Coast ports are likely to get stuck if a dock worker strike happens.
We have to get to the table. We have to be able to talk.
About 45,000 dock workers are threatening to strike on October 1st.
If this strike were to go forward and last a week or more, that's when American consumers and American businesses are going to feel the pinch.
Whenever and however the dispute is resolved, it's likely to affect how freight moves in and out of the U.S. for the upcoming holiday season and years to come.
One day is too long. The moment you close the door, things begin to back up.
Some larger companies have been preparing for the worst.
They're trying to stock up in the warehouses, but that's just designed to be a temporary measure.
The International Longshoremen's Union is demanding higher wages and a total ban on the automation of cranes, gates, and container movements that load or unload freight.
The unions are calling automation a cancer.
But experts point to successful automated ports around the world that did not cut jobs, arguing America's ports are the least efficient.
It's kind of like the unions are saying to the United States, how about we become the Blockbuster of global trade while the rest of the world is Netflix? Imagine what happens if they agree to those terms. So it's inflationary over the long term, not just the short term that a strike could.
And if a strike happens, diversions could take ships on much longer routes and require truck transport to reach their final destinations.
That's a look at World Watch. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:45 now on this Friday morning here in the 4 states, starting with a live look from our camera downtown Pittsburgh. We're looking pretty good so far this morning, but we are dry this morning after some thunderstorms last night, some of which were a bit on the severe side out there. Our camera 7th in range line looking good as well. We'll head down south to the MoDOT camera 32nd in range line. Dry roads, folks getting their day underway. Traffic lights are functioning, and that's always a good thing because you don't want to be stuck at one of those in a flashing mode during rush hour. It's not fun at all. KDOT camera 69 in Kansas Crossing also looking pretty good this morning as well. For this evening, we do have an opportunity for a strong storm or two in our far western counties, maybe some damaging wind gusts out there, at least through tonight. The greater severe risk, which is already relatively low, is just barely clipping us. And as we go into Sunday, that'll change a bit. We'll talk about that in just a moment. For today, between about noon and 5, we'll have an opportunity for an isolated shower or thunderstorm out there. Now, most of the activity is going to be confined in the southern half of our area, but there might be a stray shower or storm outside of that zone. Then as we go later into the evening, we'll start to see a few more initially very scattered, very isolated showers and storms. And in this window after midnight is where we could see a stronger storm or two in our far northwestern counties. Outside of that, we'll have scattered showers and storms throughout the night tonight, and we'll see them continue into our Saturday. For Saturday, at this time, we don't have any areas highlighted for any kind of severe threat, but we do have that opportunity for some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there, and that will be continuing through most of the day Saturday. So it's also going to be one of those situations where you might get a storm in Pittsburgh at 11 a.m. and not see another one until 5 in the evening. So there may be fairly significant gaps, but we'll continue that trend with storms. As we go later into Saturday and overnight into Sunday, shower and thunderstorm activity will begin to pick up. We'll start to see that opportunity for some stronger storms across the area. By Sunday, you can see initially at this point, the expectation is most of the thunderstorm activity is going to be, say, 126 and points north. That's not to say we won't see anything south of there, but the better chances are up north during the first part of our Sunday. By Sunday afternoon, we have a bit of a pause for maybe an hour or two, and then by 3, 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon, more showers and storms. And these are going to become a bit more widespread, will begin to develop, and another round of stronger storms will be possible. We'll get another round late Sunday evening that will come through southeast Kansas initially and into Missouri, and we'll have additional scattered showers and storms overnight Sunday into the first part of our Monday. So again, today, there's that low risk far west. Then we have the scattered storms for us tomorrow. And then we have a low risk, generally I-44 and everybody north of that for some strong storms that could have some large hail, perhaps some gusty winds out there as we go through the day on Sunday. We also have heat advisories for Washington, Newada, and Craig counties in northeastern Oklahoma through 8 tonight. Heat index values 105 to 110. For everybody else, heat index values of about 100 to 105 today. Already 20 degrees above normal in some cases out there as we're into the upper 70s. The further southwest you go, we've got some low 60s, but most of us in the low to mid 70s this morning. Warm to start, mid 70s, partly to mostly cloudy skies, and we'll be pretty hot by 11 o'clock, right around 87 degrees. Highs today, upper 90s across the area, mid 90s on our Saturday. We'll go about 90 on Sunday. We'll have a little bit of a cool down thanks to all the showers and storms out there. By Monday, mid 70s, not bad. And as we head into next week, we're going to be relatively close to average, except for next Friday with some storm chances Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's checking your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, 2 high school seniors with a passion for music are becoming known for their performances on the street. Samantha Reed has the story.
On the corner of County Street in Attleboro, high school seniors Ted Bilecki of Cumberland and his bud Ian Betts of Attleboro are busking a beat.
So busking is just street, like musical street performance. Like you set up your instrument and you just play.
For the last few weeks in the early evenings.
It's usually a weekday.
After school when time allows for it. They take their talents here. It's a busy road with lots of people passing by. And it's also the perfect place for an audience to take a listen to these 2 kids on the block.
Setting up on a street corner and having all these people, you know, coming home from work or whatever. They come by and they're smiling and it's like, it just feels nice because you don't know what's going on in their life.
Having met at the Newport Jazz Camp with Ian's passion for percussion and Ted's talents on the saxophone, the pair enjoy the practice.
We just kind of get out there and have at it.
Yeah.
They share a Spotify playlist and a love for music.
It's just so much fun. It has such a positive impact on people too.
And ever since they started their pop-up performances, people all over are on the lookout for them, sharing their location and posting videos all over the internet. They were even invited on WARA radio.
I don't think there's one person who's like walked by us or said something to us who wasn't smiling.
While they're only playing for fun, there have been some great interactions that have come with it.
We had a guy roll down his window, step out of his car, and start dancing in the street.
Yeah, he started dancing in the
street. We've had
too.
some great interaction, and we love it.
They say there's also been some memorable signs of appreciation.
We also got a full bag of Texas Roadhouse rolls.
We did.
They were really good.
Yeah.
And we greatly appreciated that.
Yeah. Don't know who that was.
If you people are out there, we love you.
The most rewarding of all for these 2 who play for free is the rich feeling knowing the boys on the block share their passion from the pavement.
That's why we do it, and it makes us feel so good about our music and our art. And to see that appreciation for it and that love for it, to get all that back, it's really, really great.
Well, some talented teens there. Stick around. We'll be right back. Well, an adorable baby hippo draws thousands of fans to a Thailand zoo. The famous hippo called Mudang, which stands for bouncing pig, has taken the world by storm after zookeepers at Thailand's Khao Keo Open Zoo posted videos of her online. Now, Mudang's TikTok now has 2.6 million followers, and she's even starring in a Sephora Thailand blush promotion. Now, according to the zoo's director, since Mudang's viral debut, the amount of visitors has gone from 800 to around 3,000 to 4,000 per day. Well, people are also celebrating one of the world's favorite foods today. Today is Pepperoni Pizza Day. According to the National Day calendar, pepperoni is the most popular type of pizza ever created. And a YouGov survey finds pepperoni is Americans' favorite pizza topping. As far as history, it's believed that pepperoni pizza was invented in 1889 to honor the Queen of Italy, Margherita of Savoy. Now, to celebrate, you could make it a pizza night with your family or friends, maybe go out to a pizzeria or make it at home.
I can't make the pizza at home, but I grew up on Supreme Pizza. My dad loved it. I really liked it. But boy, pepperoni pizza, for some reason lately, I could eat that every day. Probably not good for me, but I've been craving it a lot. And now that it's Pepperoni Pizza Day, kids, if you're awake at home yet, that's what we're having for dinner tonight. I think that's what we'll do. We are going to be very warm today. Again, we're already above normal. Mid-70s by 8. Upper 80s near 90 by 11, partly to mostly cloudy skies out there. A great day to enjoy pepperoni pizza inside. Could have a few isolated showers or thunderstorms between noon and 5. Our highs upper 90s, heat index values for most of us 100 to 105. Then we'll be partly cloudy through the evening, clouds increasing, a few scattered storms overnight, and another warm one, mid 70s. By the way, that's not far off from what our average high should be for this time of year. As we head down the road, though, we'll have a few scattered storms through the day on our Saturday, another hot, muggy day, mid-90s, and a few thunderstorms across the day on Sunday. Some of those could be strong with some gusty winds and small hail. We'll be back with more right after this.